श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम श्री कैलासमठाधीशं तिरुच्चि स्वामी यतीश्वरं भावातीतं भवहरं वन्देऽहं परमं गुरुं साधुप्रियं कृपाब्धिं च शान्तमूर्तिं तपोनिधिं शिष्यप्रशिष्यरूपेण बोधकं गुरुमाश्रये। अम्बा शाम्भवी चन्द्रमौलिरबला अपर्णा उमा पार्वती काली हैमवती शिवा त्रिनयनी कात्यायनी भैरवी सावित्री नवयौवना शुभकरी साम्राज्यलक्ष्मी प्रदा चिद्रूपा परदेवता भगवती श्रीराजराजेश्वरी। नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः। नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियता प्रणता स्मतां रौद्रायै नमो नित्यायै गौर्यै धात्र्यै नमो नमः। ज्योत्स्नायै चेन्द्ररूपिण्यै सुखायै सततं नमः। कल्याण्यै प्रणतां वृद्ध्यै सिद्ध्यै कुर्मो नमो नमः। नैऋत्यै भूभृतां लक्ष्म्यै शर्वाण्यै ते नमो नमः। दुर्गायै दुर्गपारायै सारायै सर्वकारिण्यै ख्यात्यै तथैव कृष्णायै धूम्रायै सततं नमः। अतिसौम्यातिरौद्रायै नतास्तस्यै नमो नमः। नमो जगत्प्रतिष्ठायै देव्यै कृत्यै नमो नमः। By the divine grace of the source of this universe, which is called by different names, by different perceptions of different masters of this world, we all are here today to have a beautiful darshan of that source of the universe in the form of the Divine Mother. The source of the universe, the origin of the universe is so mysterious, and the form of that universe is so mysterious that we cannot specify and say that the source is either masculine, feminine or neuter. And the source is almighty. We all have heard the word almighty, but we seldom understand that the word almighty means almighty. The very word itself indicates the unquestionable authority over the entire universe. And that word has been beautifully called in the Bharatiya Shastras as Shakti. The word Shakti literally means capable, or the personification of capability, or the personification of absolute capability, unimpeded power. That is Shakti. We all have heard the word Shakti in the context of Mother Divine, but in order to understand the concept of the meaning of the word Shakti with particular reference to the motherly form and as the source of all power for the manifestation of the universe, sustenance of the universe, as well as dissolution of the universe, one has to just go to the first verse of the Saundarya Lahari by Bhagavad Padadi Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya so beautifully says, Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum Nachedevam Devo Nakhalu Kushalas Panditumapi Atastvam Aradhyam Harihara Virinchadibhirapi Pranantum Stotum Va Katham Akrita Punya Prabhavati. The essence of this verse is Adi Shankaracharya, the one who has been acclaimed in this world as Advaita Murdhanyaha, Ashtavarshe Chaturvedi. At the age of 8, Bhagavad Padadi Shankaracharya had mastered the 4 Vedas. Dvadashe Sarva Shastravit. At the age of 12, he knows all the Shastras. Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam. At the age of 16, he has authored the commentary for the Brahma Sutra, the toughest ever written work in this world. Brahma Sutra. Dvatrinshe Munirabhyagat. At the age of 32, he has already left this world, completing all the activities. Today we speak about him. After thousands, maybe 2000 years, we are talking about Bhagavad Padadi Shankaracharya. The one who proclaimed Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. The one who proclaimed that Parabrahma is the only ultimate truth. Jagan Mithya. This world is only an illusion, an appearance. The very same Adi Shankaracharya, when he talks about the Divine Mother, he is more than any other beautiful child. He beautifully says, Kuputro Jayet Kochidapi Kumatana Bhavati. O Mother Divine, a son can be a wicked son, a bad son, but a mother can never be a bad mother. And that Shankaracharya was only telling us in the Saundarya Lahari, if Shiva, the one whom we normally call as the Paramatma, the male form, the male aspect of Shiva, if he is not equipped with Shakti, if Shiva does not have Shakti, then no creation is there, no sustenance is there, and no dissolution is there. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, no activity will take place if Shiva is not equipped with Shakti. So this word Shakti, from the word Shakti only, you come to one more word called Shaktaha. The word Shaktaha means the one who is capable, and Shakti is his capability. The one who is capable is called as Shaktaha, and his capability is called as Shakti. So Shiva Shaktya Yukto. If Shiva is devoid of Shakti, then he would not be able to even move also. So this is an understanding of the power, not just dormant but active. So a little deeper understanding of Shiva and Shakti. If we consider the foundation of a building as the dormant power, then we consider the building as the active power, the dynamic power. So one we have the dormant or static. The other one is the dynamic or active power. So you will see many places the photograph you will see. What is that photograph? In that photograph you will see Shiva lying down and Devi seated upon Shiva. Shiva is lying down and then Devi is seated upon Shiva. So what many people ask, what is this meaning of this one? The meaning of this is that the word Shivaha means present everywhere. The root of that word Shiva, Shete Sarvasmin iti Shiva. Shete Sarvasmin iti Shivaha. So that presence everywhere, present only. He is present everywhere but not active. But that Shiva only when he expresses Ekoham Bahusyama Prajayeya. I am one, I would like to be many. That Sankalpa Shakti itself is Devi. Even the thought in Shiva to manifest as many, that itself is Devi. So suddenly you see color, suddenly you see variety, suddenly you see types of sounds, suddenly you see types of forms, you see types of textures, you see types of feelings, you see you have fragrance, you have tastes, everything suddenly manifests as variety. So whatever we see as variety is called as Shakti. So in this contest we have a wonderful presentation to the world by a very dedicated couple, Srimati Dr. Meera Pranesh and Sri Pranesh. Both of them have dedicated themselves so beautifully, and they are going to do something which never ever has been done, I am telling you. Many people who have been initiated into the Upasana of Devi, we have definitely heard from our masters also that it is a very, very secretive knowledge. Definitely there is no doubt about it. But the secret aspect is in the Upasana, it is not in the knowledge of the Devi. The secretive aspect of that is only in the Upasana. How you are going to actually worship that Devi, that secrecy is there, but not in the knowledge of the Devi. You come to know about Devi, if you take any Paramatma's any form, that form will have one mantra, and then it will have a yantra, and the description of the mantra and the yantra is called as tantra. Mantra is that seed form in the form of letters by which you can just chant those letters and you awaken the Shakti. Yantra is a geometrical representation of that mantra. And then who is going to tell you that this about this mantra and the yantra? That is Tantra. That Shastra is called as Tantra Shastra. In addition to this, there is a Dhyana Swarupa also of that particular deity. So keeping this in mind, whether the source of the universe manifests as a man or a woman or even I am telling you neuter gender, the source has got no blocks. The source has got no conditions, it can manifest anywhere at any time to anybody in any form. So in our beautiful Shastras, we have one episode where Bhagavan Shiva is now married to Sati Devi. Bhagavan Shiva is married to Devi Parvati. In her previous birth, she is called as Sati. So Shiva is married to Sati, and the father of Sati is Daksha Prajapati, one of the persons who is ordained for creation, for multiplication, Daksha Prajapati. So Devi Sati is very dear to Shiva, and Daksha Prajapati, the father, he has a little amount of Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna in him. So because of that, when he conducts a homa, a very big Daksha Yajna, you can even go to Haridwar even now, you will find that Daksha Prajapati Peeth is there. In Haridwar, in Kankhal, it is there in Kankhal. So this Daksha Prajapati, because of his ego, he did not invite Shiva for the Yajna. When he did not invite Shiva for the Yajna, then Shiva said, all the other devatas have gone. Every devata gets a Yajna Bhaga. That is what the Vedas have given stipulations. But Daksha Prajapati, because of his ego, he did not want to give that to Shiva, only because of the ego that I am the father-in-law. All humans have got this problem, the problem of ego. So, because he is the father-in-law, he did not want to honor Shiva. So, what happened then? Then only Sati had the feeling that I would like to go to the yajna if Shiva accompanies me. Then she tells Shiva, please come, let us go to the yajna. Then Shiva says, I am not invited, how can I go to the yajna? Remember, this is a Leela. The word Leela has to be understood nicely. This is called, a Leela is called as a divine play. ದಿವ್ಯವಾದ ಒಂದು ಆಟವೇ ಲೀಲೆ, ದಿವ್ಯವಾದ ಆಟಕ್ಕೆ ಲೀಲೆ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು. So this divya game only is Leela. So everything is, the source is playing all this game. So then Sati says, please come. Shiva says, I can't come. Then Sati says, I will definitely go. Then Shiva says, you will be insulted, he will not honor you. Then he should not go. Shiva says, you should not go. Then Sati, that is Devi, Paramatma in the form of Devi, then shows to Shiva the 10 forms called as the Dasha Mahavidya. Sati only shows 10 different forms of herself. She manifests in 10 different forms, which is called as Dasha Mahavidya. If you go to the Rajarajeshwari temple now, inside the temple, as you go for the Pradakshina, on the northern wall you will find the Dasha Mahavidyas there in the photographic form. So this particular Dasha Mahavidya is the topic which has been chosen by Dr. Meera Pranesh and Pranesh to give it to the society and make them understand what exactly is Dasha Mahavidya in the form of a very, very beautiful documentary lasting for about 5.5 hours, and it is going to be released soon. In that you are going to understand what are the Dasha Mahavidyas. For example, you might have heard the word Tara, you might have heard the word Kali, Bhuvaneshwari, Kamalatmika, Shodashi, and you see the Chinnamasta, the mother having cut her head also, and then Dhumavati, then Bhairavi. So all these forms which you see, they are called as Dasha Mahavidyas. The word Vidya you already know. The Vidya means knowledge. Maha means very special knowledge, very, very significant knowledge. Dasha is 10. So Dasha Mahavidya means 10 different knowledges. Now when I told you already, when mother wants to manifest in any form, she can manifest. To understand it in a much simpler manner, we all know Parvati, Shiva's half consort, and we know Saraswati, the goddess of speech. Parvati is the goddess of Shakti, power, and Saraswati is the goddess of speech. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. So you see how the aspects are different. Same way, Dasha Mahavidyas are representing different aspects of this universe. So it is a very, very beautiful activity what they are doing. From this beautiful Peetha called as Jaya Peetha, Param Pujya Guru Maharaj Sri Tiruchi Mahaswamigal, he has established this Peetha, Rajarajeshwari Peetha. The Peetha itself is called as Jaya Peetha. From here, on behalf of Devi Rajarajeshwari and on behalf of our own Guru Maharaj, we convey the best blessings to this couple. You can come and receive the blessings just and then go and sit down. We convey the best blessings to both of you for having brought out this wonderful documentary, and you are going to present it to the entire universe.